Well, this week's knife attack in Ohio has once again raised many questions about immigration and the vetting process, especially of those refugees coming from terror-prone nations. But it also raises questions about assimilation.
Why do so many Somali Americans and other American Muslims have a hard time assimilating into American society? Here's Jeff Barr.
Refugees from nations like Somalia or other war-torn Muslim nations come to the United States to find a constitutional republic, something Islamic experts say goes against the core belief of some fundamentalist Muslims.
So very puritanical interpretations of Islam take this idea of submission to God and the sovereignty of God on earth, and they ramp it up to the extreme.
According to the State Department, 8 years ago, the U.S. took in more than 2,500 Somali refugees. Since then, that number jumped to nearly 9,000 in 2015. That's why some Muslim leaders are heading up efforts to reform certain Islamic teaching that refugees can keep their faith in a nation that welcomes a war of ideas.
And it has to be tackled through an alternate narrative, through engaging reformist Muslims and keeping Muslims in the forefront when we talk about these issues.
The founder of a reformist Muslim movement says Americans are often spoon-fed misconceptions about Muslims in the mainstream media, and that does nothing to advance the assimilation process here at home.
They want to suppress the education of Americans into understanding that there is diversity, that there are Muslims that are not Islamist, and that you don't have to be a Islamist to be a devout Muslim.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser penned the book A Battle for the Soul of Islam and says the Muslim community needs to start exposing the voices of Muslim reform from within, which could make assimilation easier.
That Muslim voice right now that reject theocracy and want to fight for freedom and fight for this country against Islamic states is not being heard, and it's being marginalized.
In Washington, I'm Jeff Barn reporting.
Muslim leaders say the term "see something, say something" applies to all Americans, and it's among the best ways to self-police U.S. communities.